Good afternoon and a warm welcome back to Renfrewshire in Scotland. Renfrewshire is located on the outskirts of Glasgow and overlooked by the Campsie Fells. Paisley is the largest town here and is the home of the sport of curling, where it originated. Records of curling matches date back to the early 1500s. We're here at the Braehead Arena for the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships. And today's matchup will be men's session 5, Scotland versus Switzerland. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie.
Okay, and let's meet the teams for today's match. For Scotland, the lead is Hammy McMillan. Second, Ross Patterson. Third, Glenn Muirhead. And the skip, Tom Brewster, with Duncan Menzies as the alternate player and Mike Harris as their coach.
And here's the Swiss lineup. Valentin Tanner playing lead. Skip and second player, Peter de Cruz. Third player, Claudio Pitts. And the fourth, Benoit Schwartz. Alternate, Reto Grivi. And coach, Claudio Pescia. And this is how they stack up after 4 rounds of play. Switzerland, the only team undefeated so far. Italy, Norway, and Sweden just behind them on 3 wins. Austria and Russia and Scotland all on 2 wins and 2. Denmark with just the 1 win, and Finland and Germany will be looking to get their first win here in session 5. And elsewhere here in the Braehead Arena this afternoon, Austria and Norway, Italy against Sweden, Germany against Denmark, and Finland against Russia. Our featured game will be on Sheet E. And it will be Scotland to start the game off. They'll be throwing the red stones and wearing the blue tops. Switzerland throwing the yellow stones and wearing the white tops. So this is Scottish lead player Hammy McMillan. Just the one sweeper, Glenn Muirhead, just going back to get his brush. And we've seen generally the Scottish team's approach is to be reasonably defensive at the start of the games. Is that right, Rona?
So far, yes. Just breaking his team gently. But to be fair, I think he was quite happy if that was close there. But it has just slipped into the house.
So that's the hog line there, where the stone needs to be released by, but also needs to get over that same line at the other end, just there, to be into the playing area. And Switzerland did a good job of removing that stone from play. Hammy's 24 years old and he's the curling development officer in Stirling in Scotland.
Good, Hammy.
Playing in his first European Championship.
Yep, I think we're going to see here, Logan, just them hitting for the rest of this end now that the lead stones went in to this house.
Valentin Tanner, also 24 years old.
Yeah.
And this Peter de Cruz team from Switzerland, of course, made the final last year in their first outing at this level. So a reminder of the rules of play: 6 ends minimum to be played, 38 minutes thinking time for both sides, and 1 60-second timeout will be available at any point throughout the match.
You're good there. Shot.
So this Swiss side do take a slightly different approach to the skipping arrangements, really. Quite often you see the skip throwing the last stones, but on this occasion he throws the second stones. So this is Peter de Cruz, 26-year-old from Geneva, actually born in London in the UK, and he's a full-time curler, like many of the top players are these days, Rona.
Yeah, there's more and more countries now having their players training full-time. And the competition's getting, you know, a lot greater throughout the world now. There's a lot of countries raising their game, and that's mainly due to the Olympic Games.
Well, absolutely, that's the event that they all crave. This is Ross Patterson, the 32-year-old full-time athlete as well, playing his third European Championships. Never managed to make the playoffs before, so he'll be looking to go a bit further here on home turf. The Swiss team, of course, undefeated so far this week and looking strong. So both teams just content really to run this first end through. This is Glenn Muirhead, the 27-year-old third player for Scotland. Of course, the brother of the women's team skip, Eve Muirhead. Scotland are making life difficult for themselves so far in the competition, Rona, beating the two of the favourites and losing to two of the less experienced teams in the competition.
Yeah, the results are a bit back to front at the moment, but no, they played really well to beat Thomas Ulsrud from Norway and Nicholas Hedin from Sweden. So they've had some great games, but unfortunately Denmark and Austria were probably games on paper that you would have thought Scotland would have won.
Well, especially the Austria game. It's the first time in over 20 years that Austria have played in the European A group, so they really have been banking on getting one on the board there, but they have been playing extremely well this week. How do you bounce back from that, Rona, after a shocking loss like that?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to review the game, debrief it, realise what went wrong, and then basically bin that game. It's happened. You can't do anything about it now. So it's move on to the next game. And you know, they've got Switzerland here, a really strong team. So Scotland know they need to play well, but past results are now history. So they're still in the competition. So they just need to go out and get some more wins on the board.
Well, they're definitely getting to a point where they need to maybe reel off a few consecutive victories. Tom Brewster, the 42-year-old, lives in Aberdeen. He's the brains behind the operation here. Very experienced Tom Brewster. Of course, picked up the silver medal at the Olympic Winter Games in Sochi as the alternate for Team Murdoch. Trying to get there on his own this time. This is Benoit Schwartz, also from Geneva. He's actually won the gold medal at the European Curling Championships as the alternate for Sven Michael when they won back in 2013 in Stavanger in Norway.
Same weight, or less? Same weight.
So here's Tom with his final stone of the first end. Just looking for a hit and stick around. Key here will be just to get the stone into the house so it forces a takeout, and he does so successfully.
Yep, it's been a good end of accurate hitting from both teams.
Well, absolutely. Nobody's hit and rolled out of play, so very much looks like it's just going to be an end in the books here. So here is final stone of the first end. Benoit Schwartz with the big weight. Be looking to hit and roll out on this occasion. Doesn't want to score, wants to keep that all-important last stone advantage for the second end. And after one end here, it's Scotland 0, Switzerland 0.
Line's okay. 2.5. Little bit of work. No, line's good. 2.5's good. Over curling. We're over curling.
Underway in the second end, Hammy McMillan, of course the son of the 1999 world champion Hammy McMillan as well.
I mean, they were out to edge 8 and draw the shows.
So they are throwing a centre guard. We saw on the first day there was a few blank ends to start off, but we didn't get any guards in play, so it's a step in the right direction for getting some exciting action here in this second end.
Yep, Switzerland immediately calling to come round that guard. They want to try and build up and get a 2 at this end when they've got last stone advantage.
Get that 6.
Well, that was a really nice come around there by Valentin Tanner. Gets fully in behind the guard, but also keeps a good distance from the button as well to keep that scoring area nice and big so they can get another one in there later. Scotland forced to play the freeze here.
Top 8, guys. Money's good. We're on it. Don't come off it. We're on it. For line. Don't come off it for line. That works. Good. Boy.
Nice shot there from Hammy.
Il y a un poil plus serré encore. Ouais. 5. 5, 6. Attention. Ouais. 5, oui. 6. 4, 5. Bien, c'est 7. 5, 6. Oh, lève. Oh. Enlève. Rien. Oh.
So Switzerland just trying to come round and half check that red Scottish stone. They're just going to bounce off it. It was a good attempt to freeze the corner, but... And there's Mike Harris, the Scottish coach.
How much you got?
Yeah, 1998 Olympic silver medalist for Canada.
Yeah, years of experience in the game. And a great boost for Team Brewster.
Up to speed? Yeah. Oh, she's up to speed this line.
Like 10, 15.
It's almost.
Yeah, it's faster this morning.
This is going to be. This is 6 feet quicker than earlier.
Give us what you were throwing for your guards at three weights in the last game.
Yeah.
So lots of discussion at the hack there, Rona.
Yeah, it's always good for the players to have communication between each other, what weight they should be throwing. They're discussing the splits to throw so that they all know.
We're close. Oh no, you're not. Gotta go though. You're on the guard.
That one's
Yep. Yep.
a bit light of weight and it's come up short.
Okay.
And
Just light it. They're still quite through it like
Well, I wonder if Claudio Pescia senses an opportunity here after that miss there
J'aime bien prise entre les deux,
by
mais
Scotland.
à moins que ce soit trop dur.
Very successful in the
J'aime bien ça.
2000s, playing
On l'ouvre après.
third position for Ralph Stockley for Switzerland.
C'est 4, hein.
He's also represented Italy as well.
14-7, ouais, ça va assez vite. Je pense 80, c'est proche. Petit peu moins,
So that was a bit of a mistake there by Scotland.
petit peu moins.
Not really anywhere near where they wanted to put it. So Switzerland are going to just try and draw one down in between the yellow and the red stones that are side by side there. Right into that pocket to make it really hard for Scotland to remove that. And also create an angle to remove the red stone in the centre line at some stage.
Attention. Attention. Oh. Rien. Oh. Prends quel side. Oh.
Well, another mistake. Needed to get to the inside of that red stone and just a little bit too much weight, doesn't curl enough and bounces out into the open. So a bit of a let off there.
yeah, that stone seemed to run a bit straighter than they expected, so it certainly opens things up for Scotland's point of view here.
If you hit this is just going out.
They're looking at whether they could come off the inside of that yellow Swiss stone that's just been played.
Yeah, I know. That's his shot, eh?
I mean, my natural instinct is to hit the double and out turn, but
What happens if he knows that?
I don't see it.
That's no disaster. Even if we come inside.
I don't mind that.
No, you're not, yeah. If you check in, it's probably not bad either, eh? Just a hair.
Control.
Okay. There goes, you got it.
Check in half a stone.
Quick discussion there between
Your stone last then.
Muirhead and Brewster about stone positioning. We're going to play a takeout on that yellow stone next to Tom Brewster's brush. And will be Ross Patterson to deliver that job.
Control.
Right off. Control.
Push.
We don't want to know.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Nice shot, Ross.
Okay, that works.
Well, not a bad result for Scotland there. It was probably the best they could do.
2 tiers.
Because Switzerland have got last stone here, so they want this centre open. They don't want to get into trouble behind centre guards.
Yeah, I think they smell a little bit of danger here with those red stones lining up onto their yellow shot. So just going to switch to some defence here.
Nice double takeout in the guards.
Well, meanwhile, over on sheet A, here's Thomas Ulsrud, 45-year-old skip for Norway. Currently on 3 wins and 1 loss. Austria going along nicely as well on 2 wins and 2. But it's going to be a good start here for Norway. They get a 2 in the first end and will take a 2-shot lead. After 1 end, it's Norway 2, Austria 0. Oh, nice shot there by Glenn Muirhead back in our featured game. Here's another look. Removes the yellow, punches the red over to the side and leaves the reds nicely lined up onto that yellow.
Yeah, that's a great result for Scotland because Switzerland know any movement in that red and their yellow shot's going to go. This one curling a long way. Sweeper's trying to hold.
Ok.
So Scotland lie 1.
Putain, ça a tellement curé, ouais.
Yeah.
But if Scotland are now in a good position here, Logan, if they can hit this and lie several counters in the house, it would then hopefully force Switzerland to go to play for 1 at the end of the end instead of building up their 2.
It definitely looks difficult for Switzerland to score more than 1 as things currently stand. Scotland making absolutely sure of that by removing the only yellow stone in the house.
Good, Glenn.
Does Scotland lie 3, maybe 4? I don't know if that one closest to the bumper is in the house or
I know
not.
I'm very guilty of it, but...
Yeah, they're certainly lying well.
Je sais pas si on roule assez loin.
Switzerland will look at just
Ok.
hitting the one that's lying short and try to roll over towards the other Scottish counters.
Oh, attention. Oh, ouais. Oui, oui. Oui, fort, fort, fort. Toujours, fort, fort, fort. Roule, roule, go, 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 go.
Al makes 1 go
Okay.
and moves the other ones around as well and lies in front of them. Great shot there by Claudio Petz.
Je pense avec lui, ce qui est
Yeah, that
difficile,
was a great result for them.
If he's throwing his in front of that, I think we'll catch him at some point.
It also puts the pressure on Tom now that he doesn't want to jam that yellow counter when he tries to remove it
Nose is good.
onto the back red, so he's got to be careful here.
Yeah, well, after there being so many stones in play, actually looks like it might start to turn into a blank end situation.
Whoa, whoa. Yep. Sorry, go. Hard, guys. Hard.
Oh, and he's jammed it on the wide one. That's a huge mistake there by Scotland. Big misjudgment.
Advantage turned very quickly now in this end. The sweeper's really trying to hold that.
Well, there didn't seem to be any panic initially. But they just get that one all wrong.
So just from that one great shot from the Swiss third, and it set up the opportunity here for Switzerland.
Ouais. Là. Juste en mal. Attention. Ouais. Wow. Oui, oui.
So Switzerland want to remove the Scottish counter and lie 2,
Attention. Oui, faut que...
which he's done perfectly. He won't be worried about the jam at the back there on the other Scottish stone.
Oh, he's a cool customer, this guy, Benoit Schwartz. So good under pressure.
Happy with it? As soon as we can. Okay. No more than that. It's not going to Carol.
So an opportunity now for Tom to try and get a very thin double here. Make up for the result of his last shot.
Well, it's quite often the way of it, isn't it? That when you make a mistake with your first one, then you need to pull off something pretty heroic to save the day with the next one.
Sweepers are working this one really hard to get the thin double. No, just caught it too thick.
Well, this looks like it's an absolute gift of a 2 here for Switzerland.
It did more than I thought.
Scotland looked good to force Switzerland to score 1 for so much of the end, but then just a real horror of a first stone by Tom Brewster. Set up this opportunity, just needs to be a bit more than fully in the house to score 2. So here it is, final stone of this second end, Benoit Schwartz.
Ok, joue le
And
bouton.
our first look at the split timers here. We've been
C'est
looking
un
at
poil plus serré que le LSD.
anything around 14 and a half to get to the tee line, so it'll give us an early indication of the speed of the ice.
Joue le temps.
Sweepers seem quite happy nursing that one in. Looks good.
You're not going to see Benoit Schwartz miss that draw too many times. A formality almost. And a great start. After 2 ends, it's Switzerland 2, Scotland 0.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Ça va, 7 c'est trop. Wow, wow. 5 heures trop. On est là, je pense, Ben.
You're watching live coverage of the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships, live from Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie. And a dream start really for Switzerland.
Certainly was. It was a bit of a gift, to be fair. Scotland controlled the second end and just one shot turned it round. So 2 for Switzerland, so now Scotland need to put up some corner guards and try and get a 2 back.
Ah, you're good. Certainly needs to curl.
So Ross and Glenn working this one hard. That's a good corner guard from Hammy.
Good, Hammy.
We have seen this end sheet here in the Braehead Arena be a little bit one-sided. This curls slightly more one way than the other. So it'll maybe be something for the teams to contend with as the game goes on.
Yeah, just need to keep their eye on the ice conditions the whole way through the game because it can change. So when it does change speed or the amount it's going to curl, it's very important that the teams get on top of it as quickly as they can.
Light on the nose.
Yeah. Just T. T weight.
That one's okay.
You know your weight.
Well, Scotland electing not to play the takeout here. They're going to try and get some stones in play. And
Back 4. Whoa. Rim. Back. Line's okay.
they are going to make a move on the yellow stones in the centre line though, just to try and bump things around.
Hard line.
5 points.
5 points. Yep.
5 points.
Weight's good. Weight's good. Weight's good. Care firm, maybe.
Good shot.
Good shot there from Hammy. That's exactly what was asked for.
Yeah, just pushes the stones to the back of the tee line so that they can serve as catchers later on.
And Switzerland don't want to get too many stones in play now, so they're just going to peel the corner guard off so that there's no cover for Scotland.
Okay.
No hitting it.
Yeah, freeze that. Freeze good.
I like it. He's flashing the top red right enough, but
He's getting the angle right. It's not going anywhere.
yeah. I like this.
So Scotland just going to use the back Swiss stone to come up and rest against it and try and force an error out of Switzerland.
Is there any other options available to them at this point?
Close. No.
They could put up another corner guard just to try and give themselves some cover, but
We're going to need a pizza for going.
I think, you know, it's only the third end of the game, so they don't need to go gung-ho just yet. That one seems to be over-curling, because his weight wasn't too bad at all, but it just over-curled there.
Of course, management of the stones is a real art as well, and we did see him over curl in the last end as well, so maybe just something that Scotland will need to keep an eye on. Over on sheet D, here's Kasper Hakunti holding the brush for Finland, and this is Aku Kausta delivering his final stone of the second end, already trailing by 1 shot to 0. Facing quite a few Russian yellow stones. It really is a daunting task. Doesn't get enough curl, and how many is that, I wonder? Looks 2 for sure, maybe even 3. A lot of consideration being given to it. I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say it was only 2.
Oh, I think it's 3.
Well, back in our featured game, here's Ross Patterson throwing second stones for Scotland.
Yeah, the Swiss there just hit and rolled out on the Scottish stone, so it's given Scotland a second opportunity to try this freeze.
Yep, gotta go! Go line! Gotta go line!
Actually, I think I didn't see it, but they must have removed their own stone. So Scotland now with 3 stones in the house. And looking in good shape. Switzerland still lying 1, however. Well, big shot required here from Claudio Petz to tidy this situation up.
Whoa! Whoa!
I think he gets this one really good. They might get close to getting them all the
Wait,
red ones away.
Wait. Yep. Okay.
Well, hits it too high and goes right between everything.
This is a good opportunity now for Scotland to lie 3 and really put the pressure onto Switzerland.
Absolutely no guards in play either.
Yeah, a dream situation to be in.
Doesn't look a lot, guys, right? You got it. You've got it.
I think generally the complaint from the Scottish team throughout the season has been that they keep getting themselves into good positions and then they just aren't quite clinical enough in maximising their chances. So this is one of those situations. We'll see how they get on with it.
That's good.
Well, plays a good shot to lie 3. So confirmation, Rona, I was right.
Rat. It's different from this angle, Logan.
So yeah, Russia 3, Finland 0 there after 2 ends.
But Scotland are definitely lying 3 here and looking good when they've got last stone advantage at this end.
Well, a bit errant with the last one, Claudio. But giving it another go this time. Not that easy to get 2 away. Hits this one on the nose.
Yeah, Tom with this one will just be wanting to remove the Swiss stone from play, but it's important where his shooter goes because he doesn't want to leave a double takeout. And that's where stone positioning is key.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it is going to be a big ask for Scotland to score 3 here, but 2 is a real possibility. Switzerland do still have another couple of opportunities to make a double takeout. You'd expect them probably to make 1.
Yeah, 2 is a good score. So if anything else on top of that's a bonus.
You could just see there in that previous picture just how close the crowd are to the ice. It's you can really taste the action up close and personal here in Braehead Arena.
Yep, there's a good crowd in for tonight's game. Quite a few Scottish flags getting waved there as well.
So Scotland doing quite a good job at the moment of not leaving nice angles for double takeouts.
It's definitely running nice right there. Just got to be careful of that. Yeah, if you're peeling at all.
Switzerland are going to try and peel this red stone just played there by Glenn Muirhead onto one of the wide ones. But you just need to hit a thin piece of it to make the angle. Well, again, over curls and hits it too fat. Maybe playing those shots a little bit safe, Rona.
Yeah, definitely.
So over on sheet B, here's Italy and Sweden, both 3 and 1. And Italy in great shape here. Here's Nicolas Adin with his final stone of the second end. Back-to-back European champions in 2014 and 2015. And looking good again here this week, the red-hot favourites. Well, just a little bit safe there, didn't want to lose a big end. But does give up a steal of 1, and Italy move into the lead there after 2 ends. It's Italy 1, Sweden 0.
So Scotland line 2 at the moment. Tom just drawing to lie a third shot in the house.
Run! Only need a bit for it! Not for weight. Weight's good. Got a curl, guys.
I think he's thinking Logan, if he comes up and half checks the yellow Swiss stone, means they might jam, but certainly doesn't want to leave a double.
Yeah, it's a really poor spot they found there. It's just that once again, that's just let Switzerland off the hook a little bit here, and this should be a very straightforward double takeout. If they hit that red behind the brush there, pretty much anywhere on the right-hand side as we look at it, then both those reds will leave the house, and Scotland will only be able to score 2 here in the third.
Yeah, we did say it would be good if Scotland could take a 2 at this end, because they'd set it up well, but they were in a good position to get a 3.
Nicely done by Benoit Schwartz.
Yep. Scotland really set that up for Switzerland there, because they tried a few attempts at double takeouts in that end and hadn't made any of them, so
Give it a couple of feet less, we can shoot it in.
they gave them an easier shot there.
Well, that's it, Rona. I think that's just the last spot they wanted to put that stone on. So here is the final stone of this third end. Tom Brewster just has to draw the 8-foot for 2.
Yep, you gotta go. You gotta go. T-line.
Ross and Hammy working this one hard.
So generally for the sweeping, you'll see the 2 sweepers sweeping if it needs to go for weight. But if it's more of a line thing, you'll probably only see 1 sweeper sweeping. Yeah. Almost a little bit keen with the brushes, but it does slow down in time, and Scotland tie the game up here in the third end with a deuce. And after 3 ends, it's Scotland 2, Switzerland 2.
Good end. Good end, boys. They're in front.
Oh, aye, big stuff.
So, great, you know. Keep on that side if we can.
Yeah, good end, boys. Right, tight.
Yeah.
Whenever we're getting misses, so just keep the pressure.
4th end.
Good going. Aye. Go in, then go top, front of it. If you like. He's going corner.
I'm not that bothered about
odds and evens at
No,
this
but-
stage, to be honest. But
Right, okay.
Where's this top 4, is it?
Yep. Line's good. 8 foot.
Tied game here, Switzerland and Scotland.
Line is good.
Perhaps more of a must-win for Scotland than Switzerland, Rona?
Yeah, Switzerland are sitting on 4 wins and no losses at the moment. Scotland are 2-2, so really Scotland do need a win on the board here.
Just confirmation there. Switzerland scoring 2 in the second end, and Scotland bouncing right back with a 2 of their own in the third.
Juste là. Ligne, ça cœur lacé. Jusque là.
So now it's Switzerland's turn to put on the corner guard. They've got last stone here, so they want to try and get a 2 back.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hammy having a good week so far. 87%.
What's it, Hammy? Yeah. Here. 3.
Line's okay. Wee bit of room. Oh yeah, definitely room.
3.
Here it comes.
Still 3.
Line's good now.
Line's good if it's 3, boys.
If it's 3, right here.
So they're shouting 3. That means it's close to the house, which is exactly where they want it. So it's just getting the line right. Pretty good shot from Hammy there.
Nice weight. Yeah.
Roulez dedans. Ça prend ça, ça va aussi.
Well, Peter de Cruz giving his players
Max.
options on this one. And I guess they'll decide on the way down the ice as to what one that they pick. 84% for the week for Valentin Tanner.
Comment vitesse, Ben? Whoa.
So they're either going to tap the stone in the house back behind the T-line, or they're going to chip the centre guard and roll into the house themselves.
Attention. Proche. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Direct. Ouais, 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 ouais.
Yeah, that's a good call, Logan, to play that weight, because then you've got an either-or shot.
Oh, they've horribly misjudged that after saying that. It was a great call, badly executed.
Yeah, it was a lovely weight he played, but unfortunately just gift the top one. So that is advantage to Scotland now, slightly. Although Scotland's line shot, it's not as far in as they would probably like.
There's nothing more frustrating than that as a player, is there? You kind of expect that if the player puts it in the right position, then the sweepers and the skip will make the most of that shot. But they made a bit of a pig's ear of that one.
They did. It was neither nor, as they say.
A tweener.
So Tom electing to hit the Swiss stone at the back of the house. And this one's curling as well.
The players struggling to get to grips with the ice at the moment.
Yep, I think they're being caught out a wee bit by the big swing that there seems to be away from the crowd side. The stones are really curling.
Attention. Oh, oh, oh.
Peter de Cruz having a good week, 89%.
Ouais, fort. Fort, passez la garde. Fort. Oh.
Well, they managed that one better and gets it past the guard to make the takeout. Meanwhile, over on sheet C, 0-0 in the game between Germany and Denmark. Both teams around the foot of the table and desperately needing to start getting some wins here this week. Alex Baumann throwing last stones for Germany. Well, everybody giving this a bit of attention, but no panic really, as they just had to hit the paint there, and they do score 3. And after 3 ends, Germany off to a great start. Germany 3, Denmark 0.
So Scotland there, they're trying to get a roll in behind that guard as cover, but unfortunately it just hit on the nose, so it allows Switzerland the opportunity to get that roll.
Oui. Fort pour rouler. Fort. Claudio. Fort.
Well, just hits that one on the nose, sticks around. So just trading takeouts really, Scotland and Switzerland. Over on sheet A, Austria and Norway. So Norway getting a pretty straightforward deuce in the first end. The second end was blanked. And here's Sebastian Wunderer. And what's he done here? Need to make the roll in there to try and make the double. Rolls out the way and gives up a steal. And Norway looking good there already. After 3 ends, it's 3-0. Back in our featured game. Another takeout, another hit and stick.
So they've rolled away from the guard now, so Switzerland are looking at ignoring that stone, and they'll try and come round behind the cover to try and put a bit more pressure on Scotland. Switzerland have got last stone, so they want to try and score 2 at this end.
86% for the week for Claudio Petz. Really good shooting for a third player. Generally, you expect the stats to fall as you move up the team. The players at third and skip generally playing the harder shots with there being more stones in play.
That's a lovely draw round.
Couldn't have done it better from the near hack.
So now Scotland need to decide would they draw around and follow that. But I think they're deciding that can raise the front guard straight back. So Glenn also having a great week, 88%. So it's a good match up here with third players.
Yep.
Well, needing a good one here, running back the guard.
Great shot.
Well, Glenn Muirhead really is a weapon to have at third position. So good at those big weight run backs. Can really turn an end on its head when you've got a player of that ability.
Yeah, no shot. Phases Glenn. Ideally, he wanted to hit it in the nose to stay guarded and covered nearer the centre of the house, but still a great result to lie to.
They need to be careful not to injure themselves with that kind of reaction to the sweeping. Got away with it. So here's Claudio Petz again with the come around. Perfect spot.
Yeah, another great draw from Switzerland.
I just wonder if that's just over curled a fraction, and that might give Brewster an option to come around at it, but
Yeah, you can really see that big swing, Logan, coming from the barrier side. It's a big, big finish in the stone.
that was pretty well hidden from the hack, isn't it? So Tom Brewster forced to play the run back, just like his third player Glenn Muirhead did a few moments ago. And Brewster slightly lower than the rest of the team, 82% for the week thus far. Still pretty good though for a skip.
Whoa, Charlie, whoa! Whoa!
It's not running like Glenn's. Okay.
Well, just halves the guard off, opens up the shot stone, but now Switzerland really have the upper hand here in this fourth end.
Are you anticipating it? Aye. Right.
Exact. Overcurl, ça va très bien.
So that turns the advantage to Switzerland now. They've got last stone here, the line 1. Going to draw to line 2. So you'll want to put this somewhere that doesn't leave an easy double for Scotland. He's very cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He reminds me a little bit of his compatriot Roger Federer in his kind of general
His
mannerisms
very,
and
yeah, incredible.
I'm sure in the past in his biography it stated that that's who his idol was, but on this occasion it says it's the national coach Al Moore. So I think there might be some joking going on there.
Do you think Al wrote his bio?
Potentially. Might think he'll get some more money from the federation by doing so. Well, that's a super draw there. Looks like it's just far enough to lie second shot. That's what they're looking at the moment.
It's very close.
This turn. Control. You like that? Yeah.
But Tom can hit this and roll. There's cover there for him to roll behind now.
Yeah, and actually, Glenn's just looking at his redstone on the tee line there on the left-hand side of the screen. Whether he can actually roll into that and still lie in a good position, in a shot position.
This is one of these shots that it's more what you leave is the key. You want to leave your opposition the hardest shot possible.
Control!
A real look of determination on the face of Tom Brewster here.
Stay close now, yes!
I think they've given up on this one. Just lost it. Curls onto the nose. It looks like it'll be a straightforward shot for 2 for Switzerland.
Should have thrown that way.
Just looks a little bit out of sorts at the moment, Tom.
Yeah, there's a wee bit lack of confidence on the ice. His first one ran straighter and that one curled more than he thought. So Stone's just not reacting the way he thinks. Straightforward nose hit now for Switzerland for 2.
Yeah, these are the kind of shots that these full-time curlers can make in their sleep, really.
Yeah, perfect. And that was where Tom really needed to get that hit and roll and put some pressure on the Swiss skip.
Well, good hammer efficiency in this game. Two's passing back and forth between the two sides, and now 4 ends in the book. It's Switzerland 4, Scotland 2, we think. Getting a little bit ahead of myself, perhaps. So they're just going to measure it to double check, but it certainly looks from our overhead camera that it's likely to be a score of 2. Just a reminder, Scotland is the red stone on the right and Switzerland the yellow stone on the left.
It's that line. Remember the first was the second end going down there.
I think at the moment, Rona, is quite a good decision to have a measure anyway, just as an opportunity for Team Scotland to regroup.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good for the 4 members of the team to have a chat and, as you say, regroup before the next end.
Well, doesn't really move that one too much. It really hit the Yellowstone quite hard, so just saw the needle moving on the dial. And it is a score of 2 here in the 4th end. And after 4 ends, it's Switzerland 4, Scotland 2.
For the 5th end,
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a 3rd one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Ligne un poil serrée. 4-5. Juste 5. Hein. Vitesse, c'est plus important. Regarde, regarde, regarde. Juste 5. Ça n'a pas curlé du tout.
Final end of the first half here. At the end of this one, they'll get a well-earned rest for 5 minutes.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Switzerland with the upper hand after their second score of 2 of the game in the fourth hand.
That's a perfect start for Switzerland, their lead. Perfect stone.
It's good.
2.5.
Here high, Glenn's only.
Room.
I can see some of the kind of shinier areas in the middle of the sheet where most of the plays come down. And then out on the wings it's a little bit frostier.
Good, Tommy.
Good there.
A bit whiter. So a good corner guard once again. Scottish team don't seem to be too worried about leaving their corner guards reasonably close to the centre line. Some teams would take it a little bit wider out in the sheet just to make sure it's not blocking the path into the button.
I think as well, Logan, by doing that, they've got the option of going round it in both hands. If it was a wider guard, then they could only go round in one hand.
Well, good setup once again here for Valentin Tanner.
Perfect.
So over on sheet D, here's Finland and Russia. Russia leading by 3 shots to 0. So a big steal of 2 in the second end. And Aku Kausta really needs to get his act together quickly here. He doesn't want to suffer his 5th loss of the week. Oh, the sweeper's coming out to help. Can they get it down into the 8-foot to score? Facing 3. Oh, I think they've just done enough. Just.
I don't know.
No,
Person having a good look at it. Oh, just.
Alexei Timofeyev confirms that it is a score of 1. And after that end, it's Russia 3, Finland 1.
So Scotland there, the lead Tammy McMillan was trying to draw around onto the short stone that's in the house, but just came up slightly short. But Switzerland will just remove this corner guard so that Scotland can't build up a big head.
He's technically very good, Peter de Cruz, extremely square shoulders when he slides out. Here's the peel. I think they just want to try and rumble things around in centre line a bit as well. Hits it a fraction too thick. Anyway, on sheet B, there's Oscar Eriksson holding the brush for Sweden. They're currently trailing Italy by 1 shot to 0. And this is the final stone of the third end from Niklas Edin. On extremely good form coming into this tournament with 2 victories in the most recent Grand Slam events in Canada. The first ones by any European team. And nicely done. Puts a 2 on the board there. And after 3 ends, it's Sweden 2, Italy 1.
So Scotland were trying to draw around there again and have come up short. Struggling a wee bit with the weight going this way, Logan.
Absolutely over curling on that side of the sheet again too.
Yeah, you sometimes need that pound of running weight-wise when you've got that big swing, because it just takes the weight off.
Deux tiers. Ouais, 2 tiers, ça va.
Disons, je trouve que si tu prends plein,
Tu vois.
2 tiers, 3 quarts.
2 tiers.
2 tiers, 3 quarts, ça part, je pense.
Well, Peter de Cruz just had to return to the
Ce qu'il faut, c'est pas prendre genre une moitié.
other end of the ice just to check the angles really before he plays this one. He's going to try and make the 2 red stones go away here. So looking for probably a 2/3 to a half stone contact here.
Non. Rien. Fort, Benoît, fort.
Pretty perfect shot.
Yeah, super stone. And we've seen all week long the stones really moving well around the house and really seem quite springy in it. Can really allow for some really spectacular shots like this one. Stones flying everywhere.
I've opened everything up, so it means now the chance for Scotland to get their 2s gone. So they'll just try to hit out this end and blank it so that they can take last stone advantage into the 6th end.
Is that a good strategy, Rona? I mean, they are trailing by 2.
Yeah, they could have put up another corner guard, but you know, Switzerland would just have peeled it. They could have frozen the stone in the house. They could have tapped back the stone in the house just to gamble a wee bit. You've got to take chances at some point, but Tom obviously feels at this stage in the end he'd be better just going into the next end with the hammer and try and have a better setup. And that's where the leads are so vital in the game now. They really dictate how the end's going to be played, and stone positioning from them is vital. So Glenn just going to hit the Swiss counter out.
Good, Brian. Good.
Yeah, important for the teams to keep their focus though. They are really straightforward shots, but don't want to give an inch at this stage. Over on sheet C, here's Germany and Denmark. That's Johnny Fredriksson, the Danish 3rd, holding the brush for the Danish skip, Rasmus Stjarne. Trailing by 3 shots. And he needs a good one here. Oliver Dupont and Mikael Poulsen on the brushes. And they're not doing very much, which may indicate that it's heavy. He's up against a few red stones here. And can you believe that? Steal of 2 for Germany, and after 4 ends there's Germany 5, Denmark 0. Denmark maybe going to suffer their 4th defeat in a row after winning their first game this week against Scotland. Back in our featured game, just trading hits here to run the 5th end out and get into the halftime break.
I suppose as well, going into the 6th end, Tom's quite confident because in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th end of this game, Scotland have set up the ends well and given them the opportunity to be able to score 2 when they've got the hammer. So I think Tom's just probably going to be more confident to blank this now and go for it in the 6th end.
I'll just hit some rolls out here, but won't be too concerned about that.
We're talking about when you've got last stone advantage, it's important to try and score 2 or more, but also when you don't have last stone advantage, it's so important to try and force the opposition just to take 1 and not let them get their 2s.
Yeah, absolutely, and that kind of general philosophy shapes the whole strategy for the games, doesn't it, Rona?
Definitely. You know, if you can take 2 every time you've got last stone and only give up 1 when you don't, you're going to win the game.
you.
Always seems to be so much more complicated in real life, though.
It sounds good on paper.
So neither team doing a very good job so far of forcing the opposition just to score one with the last stone.
No, not so far in this game. Hopefully Scotland will hit and run out here. To stick to our theory.
Stay on it, Harry.
So just trying to blank here.
Just in case. Okay, good.
Yeah, no problem at all. Hits and rolls out and keeps that all-important last stone advantage for the 6th end. The players are going to have a short break, so join us in 5 minutes for the conclusion of this men's session 5 game. Switzerland 4, Scotland 2. Scotland against Switzerland here in the 2nd end. It's Benoit Schwartz to play, and after a huge mistake by Tom Brewster, sets up this golden chance to score 2 and open up an early lead here. Nicely done. Switzerland 2, Scotland 0. And then here in the 3rd end, a similar situation really here as the previous end for Benoit Schwartz, but for Tom Brewster this time just needs to hit the 8-foot for 2.
Good, Tom. Good.
And easily done as well. Tied game after 3 ends. And then in the 4th end, Benoit Schwartz with another straightforward one. Just needs to nose hit this red stone at the front of the 4-foot. No problem at all. Puts another 2 on the board, and that would give Switzerland their 2-shot lead at half-time. It's Switzerland 4, Scotland 2. And 5th end. And it's Finland and Russia. That's Alexei Stukalski, and this is Alexei Timofev, throwing his final stone of the 5th. And they're 3-1 up at the moment, and a chance to move further ahead here. Well, he's done enough, I think, for 2. Seems to be lots of situations where they're having to have a really good look at who's lying shot when they all come to rest. And just an update on where everyone else is. Austria trailing Norway by 4-0. Sweden beating Italy by 2-1. Germany beating Denmark by 5-0. And Russia leading Finland by 5-1. So Germany looking good there for getting their first win of the week.
Yeah. We're good at that. Yep. We're good at being patient. So we've got tons of time. I'm going to fill a water bottle up. Yeah. Okay. Give it a hand. Oh, you're not. No, we're second. What's that? We get it back, we're second. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right, good thing. I didn't like the sound.
C'est vrai que je crois qu'ils sont bien en plus. Enfin,
I think in the entry it goes straight from the side.
I think, yes.
Suddenly, just
if you play, it's hard.
It has a rock underneath. Sometimes it goes back in the rock. Sometimes it goes, it curls.
It's a loose rock inside.
You're good now.
quick look at the stats after 5 ends. Switzerland 6% up on Scotland overall, and definitely drawing better, 14% of difference. We've seen some super draws from Claudio Pats that really have made the difference in this first half so far. And no stolen points so far. 5 games for the price of 1 here at the Braehead Arena. All the teams in action here in session 5. And our featured game is on the right-hand side there, sheet E. So Valentin Tanner having an excellent game, 90%. If you've just joined us, you're watching live coverage of the 2016 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire, Scotland. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie, helping us all to understand what's in the players' heads out there.
Focus and concentration. That's what will be in their heads right now.
So Hammy McMillan, 93% for the game. Good shooting by the Scottish lead.
Looks good, guys. Get it there, Glenno. Gotta go now then.
So really this end, Logan, 6th end, Scotland need to take these chances to score 2 or more.
Good, Hammy.
A good corner guard there. Noticed a lot this week, Logan. There's a lot more players delivering with the brush on the ice rather than using it as a crutch in their back to help them slide, to balance. A lot more are obviously more balanced, that they can just trail it along the ice.
Well, absolutely, everyone does it their own way, really. So perfect setup once again here from Tanner. It does put a lot of pressure on your opposition when you know that their lead's going to do that every single time. Look at the lips, and just going to ignore the 2 stones in the centre line here and curl one around that red guard. He played with his first stone, Hammy.
A wee bit heavy, so they're taking it back to you.
Perfect.
So Switzerland still lies short. Go to clear off the corner guard. They're definitely not letting Scotland try to have any cover.
Peter de Cruz 90% for the game. Great stats by the Swiss team so far.
Yep. Okay.
Pretty straightforward, the peel on the guard, and I think the reason that they're able to do that in this position is that they've got the stones in such good position on the centre line. It really does make life so much easier for your team.
Yeah, that's set up by the lead.
Okay.
The only consolation, I suppose, is that the Swiss stone's not right in the forefoot. It's not too close to the button, so Scotland could draw around and still lie short. But Tom's got to make sure that Scotland score here. So he's just elected to take the front guard off. He can take this guard. A good shot, Logan, would be to take this and roll over to give yourself another corner.
Well, absolutely, and they've elected to play the cut weight here to try and control the shooter.
Oh, well, plan B.
Nice shot.
Well, he's had a bit of a poor first half By Ross's standards, only 73%. Struggled with a few of those draws, coming up short and catching on centre guards. That makes a strong start to this 6th end.
Si lui vient derrière après, si on fait le double, il y a des jams partout. Bien ça, les deux rouges. À moins que ce soit trop dur, mais...
Ah mais le truc c'est que je pense que c'est 3 quarts.
Le tiers.
Le tiers, ouais. Faudra bien balayer ça. Hein?
Well, another defensive decision here from Switzerland. Good luck to play the takeout on the one in the house. Potentially line 2, but they're going to take a slight risk here and try and run that centre guard onto the red at the back of the house and spill them both from play. Big mistake here from Peter de Cruz, hits it on the nose.
Yep, so he didn't remove the back red in play, and he's also left a guard for Scotland, so advantage is turned to Scotland here now when they've got hammer. Good opportunity to draw around here and set up a 2.
You see Tom there in his short sleeves. Quite warm here in the Braehead Arena. So here's another one of those draws coming away from the barrier that Scotland have really struggled to get nailed down throughout the first half. Have they learned their lessons here in the second half, I wonder?
Yep, past that guard. A wee bit deep there. We're wanting that one to finish top tee. And you can see the draw there, Logan. They passed the guard by not a huge amount, but it's drawn out the other side of it.
Oh.
80% for Claudio Pats.
No. Val, oui. Oui. Allez.
Well, doesn't have to remove the red, but doesn't manage to keep the shooter. So Scotland with another opportunity to play the same draw that they just played and maybe even make it a little bit better.
Yeah, they want to come around this top tee because it puts more pressure onto Switzerland if the stone's buried.
So by top tee, we mean this side of the tee line in front of it, so that the opposition have to move it if they want to lie in shot position. So 93% for the game for Glenn. Good shooting.
Slide fast, guys. It's okay. Just wait. Make sure we're there, guys. Here he comes, Tommy. It's curling now. Hard.
So they're anticipating this big swing and using the sweepers to try and hold it past this guard.
Yep, got a wee bit of distance, guys. Let's go.
You can hear him saying a wee bit of distance because that's a Swiss stone out in front they've drawn round. The closer it is, the easier it is then for Switzerland to play a straight raise.
All excellent correction there by Team Scotland.
Okay, là.
Keeps that stone north of the tee line and forces Switzerland into playing a run back on that yellow stone at the top of your screen.
Attention. Oui.
Well, gets one, but doesn't get the back one.
Yep, so the guard's still there for Scotland to come around. They just need to keep getting round this guard and keep the pressure on Switzerland and force some errors from the Swiss team.
That looks a lot, but that's what I gave you in the first. The shooters moved over.
Well, important for the thrower to get the clarity that he needs to go and make the shot. Wasn't sure about how much ice had been given, but Tom Brewster giving the reasoning to Glenn.
Yeah, they've just got to watch here because they know it's got the big finish at the end. It's a big swing.
Have a look, guys. I think we're okay.
Here it comes.
Yes, Ross. Yes.
Great shot there from Glenn Muirhead.
Yeah, that's even better than the last one. Much more separation between the stone in the house and the guard. Just makes the run back attempt a little bit more missable.
And these are the questions that Scotland need to ask of Switzerland now.
J'aime sortir avec. Ah, mais faut qu'il le fasse. S'il est pas ouvert, on peut toujours taper, c'est max 2. C'est clair, ça fait un peu chier, mais. Moi, ça me va, ça, nose, 9. Juste que donner 3 au 6e, c'est pas un peu chier, c'est juste ça. Je trouve. On sort avec? Ça, on le fait après.
Tu vas vite?
Well, a change of approach here from the Swiss. They're not going to go for the run back this time, deemed it too risky, and they're going to hit the open one that they can see.
Yep.
Bit of damage limitation here, perhaps.
I always think that's an interesting call, because if Tom draws another one perfectly round on top of the one Glenn played, then they go for the raise and they miss that, Scotland can get a 3. So does Tom go for a safe 2 and draw the wing?
It does seem to be the case on this occasion. Well, it's risk and reward like everything else, isn't it, Rona? If you draw around that yellow guard, you're going to bring the 2 red stones closer together, and one great shot from Switzerland and the opportunity is lost. So this is definitely the safer of the 2 options. Only playing 68% in this game, Tom. Well down on this tournament average of 81.
Yeah, and I suppose at this stage in the game, a safe 2 is better than setting up a double here. And you've got to, what's the skip happy to play? The player's got to be happy to make that shot. So if he's happier to draw to the open wing, then that's good. He's got to be confident.
Push, Ross, push! Gotta go.
That's good there. There's no double.
Well, it's going to be a tough ask here for Switzerland to get into shot position as well. Probably just run far enough that if they were to play the hit and roll, then they may not be in shot position.
Tu veux quoi, le bord? Un peu moins? Ça? OK. 4/5e.
I think much more for the Scottish team to be confident about here in the 6th end. They seem to be starting to address some of those errors from the first half of the game. Benoit Schwartz hasn't had many errors in the game, only playing 89%. Really good stats for Benoit. Well, doesn't quite get over to the other side of the centre line to lie hidden, so should be a wide open takeout here. And Scotland could pick up a deuce to tie the game up once again.
That looks nice for hack. Okay. You got it.
So you can hear there the sweeper's just confirming it's hack weight that Tom's going to play. So it's a wee bit more controlled weight because his shooter has to hang about for a second counter.
Weight's good.
Yep. Harder for Hart. Come on, Hamid. Come on, boys, you gotta go.
Working this one really hard.
Hard, Hamid, go.
Well, is it over curling? He's got a piece, but doesn't manage to stick around. Another miss over curling. Tom Brewster visibly upset about that one. After 6 ends, it's Switzerland 4, Scotland 3.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
For 1. Room. Good. Just wait.
Well, a big mistake there from Tom Brewster on the final stone of the 6th end. And for the first time, one of these 2 teams has been forced to only score 1 with the last stone. So we'll see Scotland be quite aggressive, I would think, here in the 7th end.
Yeah, I think Scotland now need to try and get that cover up front and get stones in behind. There's only 4 ends to go in the game, so they don't want to lose more than a 1 here, so they either force Switzerland just to 1 or they try for the steal. But yet again, the Swiss lead, playing the perfect shot.
Yeah, you could
He's
hear,
had a great game.
You could hear Peter de Cruz just begging that one to stop. If it just goes past the tee line, maybe goes another stone further, then it's a really useful stone for Scotland. So finishes in the perfect spot though.
Wait's good. Wait's good. Room. Right there. Room. Room. Top 3. Room. Coming now. Right out there. 3, 4. You're not touching it. Can't touch it. Yes, Glenn. You got to if I go, we're in. No, down if he's out. Yep.
Good. Good hammer.
So that's another guard. So extremely aggressive calls from Tom Brewster there in the 7th end. Sheet C, Germany and Denmark. Germany looking good so far. And it's 5-0. Rasmus Stjärne running out of time to get some points on the board. Really needs to start eating into this 5-shot deficit that he's faced with at the moment. And they do so. They get 2 on the board. Their first points of the game, and after 6 ends, it's Germany 5, Denmark 2.
So Swiss leads played another perfect draw around there to lie 2, covering the button. So Tom, he's happy he's got cover, but he needs to come around and just try and move these about a bit. Just a wee tap back. Leave the Scottish counter usable in the house and just tap one of the yellow ones back.
Well, let's see how it works out here. Ross Patterson with the quiet wait.
No, right off. We're bouncing off it. It's good.
Good, Ross. Go.
Okay, Ross.
Now just bounces out a little bit away from the centre line.
Yeah, pretty good attempt. Switzerland won't bother too much with that though. They'll just, I think, clear the front guards now. They've got last stone here. They don't want to get sucked into the guddle in the centre of the house. They just want the house open. Tremendous focus and concentration on Peter de Cruz's face there. His eyes so fixed on the brush. Just clears the top one.
Les angles, ils sont pas super pour lui, mais...
Yeah, or it's just...
So while there's still one guard out in front for Scotland, they want to make this opportunity to get in here and put the pressure on Switzerland. If they could lie shot after this stone,
Like that.
or even second shot in a good position, frozen on the yellow.
Is this or another guard, eh? Don't mind another guard.
It was back 8 last time.
Yeah, we didn't do it last time.
So Ross Patterson's second stone here in the 7th end. Just going to try and bump things back again.
A hair less. Whoa.
Real trick here is not to leave a double takeout on the 2 red stones.
Needs to draw. Hair less. Needs to draw. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. It's good. Whoa. Real good weight. No, he's wide. He's high, 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 high.
He's actually bumping his own here and rolls in a fraction. So the angles are slightly better for Scotland now. But I wonder if there's a double takeout possibility here for the Swiss.
Yeah, if they catch the inside of that top red, they could take both reds and even take their back yellow off the forefoot, which they wouldn't mind doing at this stage. It's very thin though, past the guard. So a good shot there from Ross. Makes Switzerland have to think here of what they're going to do.
Je te fais confiance, Ben. Il y a beaucoup de temps.
Ok. Tu dis ça, c'est trop risqué, ça?
C'est pas très risqué.
Hein?
C'est pas très risqué.
Je crois pas qu'il y ait trop de risques, non?
Je préfère faire presque le clearing simple.
Ouais, c'est pas super les angles. Lui, il fait tac-tac, il fait les 2 jaunes.
On peut faire ça, hein. Mais si on le fait pas...
C'est pas évident, hein.
Non, c'est pas
Faut passer très proche de ça, hein, avec le out là.
Fais juste la clearing.
Moi, j'aime bien essayer ça. Mais...
Bon, bah alors go, hein. On fait ça.
Les 3 rouges, comme ça, bam bam, on prend 3 quarts.
3 quarts, ouais.
Ouais. Si je prends trop fin, c'est pas grave. Il y a pas de mauvais jam. 3 quarts. J'aime bien 3 quarts comme ça. Merci, Claude. Putain. Si je prends trop fin, c'est pas grave. Merci, Claude.
3 quarts, t'as dit? C'est bien. 3 quarts, c'est...
Ouais.
Well, decision made here, and here's Peter de Cruz. Run the garden, looks like. Looks close. Oh, just gets the worst result possible, really. Very unlucky there for the Swiss.
C'est comme si on avait fait le clearing, en fait.
Well, here's another look. Stuffs it right onto the face of that other red stone, and then in turn it jams onto the other red, so not much has changed in the house, really. So close to perfection, but so far away at the same time.
If we just throw a centre, then now what's he doing? He's blasting that in the centre. But what are we covering? The red. Is he running it straight back, like?
Just tap freeze.
See that, or we do that. Yeah. I like something on the top of this, but yeah. What do you like? The guard? I don't mind the guard just now. What do you think, Ross? Just over centre line. I just think the sooner we bunch it up, they're going to spread it open. I quite like the
guard with the first.
Yeah, okay. I quite like guard with the first.
I like guard. Okay.
Well, always interesting to hear the thought process from the teams, and Glenn Muirhead pretty explicit in what he's thinking here. He wants to throw a guard with this one, fully expecting Switzerland to peel it off, and then they'll go and try and make a play in the house next time to set something up.
Oh, wait, it's good. Whoa, whoa. It's pulling now. Just let it stop, guys. That's gripping.
3.
It's over curling.
2.5, 3.
Not for weight. Nothing for line, nothing for line. Nothing for line.
Okay.
Okay.
Good there.
Like that there.
Well, he makes the guard.
Good weight.
And as they anticipated. Switzerland immediately calling the peel. So the big question here for Scotland, Rona, is when is the right time?
Yeah, I think the guard was the right call there. As Glenn said, it's still early in the end. And the sooner, if they brought it into the house, it would leave a bigger target for Switzerland. So I think the guard's a good call right now. As long as they keep putting up the centre guard, Switzerland are going to have to keep clearing it.
No. Whoa, guys. Whoa, guys. 3. It's not pulling the same. 3. 4. 3. Let's get the line right here. Whoa. Whoa. Nope. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Okay, Glenn. I knew it was more.
Well, just runs a few feet further than the previous guard. Well, actually quite a difficult one here for Switzerland. If Scotland have found quite a nice spot there, with the reds being so close together. If they were able to touch the second red in the row, playing the takeout, then there's a good chance it would go on to the one in the bottom. So.
Ça va faire ça, les deux là, ça va être la merde.
Si ça touche, là, je le décale.
Juste la première entière. Non. Ouais, celle-ci après, elle vient au centre. Ça fait tac-tac, ça reste là, ça reste. Juste la première.
Ouais,
entière.
No, just a reminder that Scotland throwing the red stones and Switzerland throwing the yellows. So Switzerland lying first and third shot in there at the moment.
Juste la première. Ça va aussi.
So what decision did we arrive at here, Rona?
Yeah, I think Switzerland just want to open everything up. They've got last stone, so as long as that centre's open.
Fort. Okay.
It's not a bad call because they certainly didn't want to take that top one onto the second one. They would have jammed it.
Well, over on sheet B6 then, Sweden, Italy. Sweden leading by 2 shots to 1, and both teams on 3 wins from their first 4 games. This is Joel Retornaz, sporting a massive beard this year. Well, he is facing one Swedish counter in there, guarded. It needs to be in the forfeit for one. Oscar Eriksson trying to take this one through, and he gets it far enough for a steal for Sweden. And he just can't quite believe that he's given that point away. After 6 ends, it's Sweden 3, Italy 1. Well, makes the double to lie too. That yellow just sticks around at the back of the house to out-count the red at the front of the house.
But if we roll 8 foot, it's fine. That's why I upped them at the end there.
Moi, je crois pas qu'il faut trop rouler en fait. Rouler un tout petit peu serait parfait. Si on peut être là.
Certainly been a lot more discussion by the Swiss team this end, Logan. Scotland are giving them a lot more to think about.
Well, we've got handshakes on sheet C. Final score, Germany 8, Denmark 2. Germany get their first win of the week. And they'll go to 1 win and 4 losses alongside Denmark, who suffer their 4th consecutive defeat this week. Back in our featured game, a lot of time being spent in this end. I think both teams really feel the importance of this 7th end.
It's a key point in the game, and Switzerland just looking closely here at if they come off the inside of the top one, they don't think they can lift the double or roll to lie short. So
Si on fait ça, il met une garde. Bien ça. Normal.
yeah, there can't be here just to hit this one on the nose and lie second shot, because there also would be lying third shot at the back as well.
Attention, oh. Ouais. Oui alors.
It's always key at this stage, Logan, to
Oh, attention. Oui.
plan what you're going to leave for the skip's last stone.
Oui, oui, oui. Fort, 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 fort.
Oh, perfect shot, really.
Ça c'est bien.
Rolls down onto the face, and that's a good saver in there, really. Scotland still lying one though.
Yeah, they're lying one, but Switzerland are lying second and third, and Tom's very conscious about that.
That's reversing
when he
off.
doesn't have last
We just
stone,
guard it.
so
The thing is, if you check in here, it's still
he's
there.
looking at either hitting the back yellow
Well, we can.
or put up a guard.
That's a simple run for him. Oh, aye. Just now, that's just inside nose for him. He's got to draw the button for 3. How it lay at the moment, it's guard it. You only need to cover 2 inches of this, eh? As long as we cover this side. Mind you. Well, no, because if he goes here and nicks this, then that's 2 there. So we have to cover. You're not convincing me. No, but what I'm saying is you can't just cover 2 inches of this side. Yep. We'll have to cover the whole rock.
Yep. All time we need to get too tricky with the
Yeah.
guard.
That ice. Well, I threw 2 guards, so if that's what I had, that's fine.
The halfway guard or
just a 2, aye.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to cover
Oh, more discussion, Rona.
Yeah, a lot of discussion here. And it's so important because they've got to put the stone in the right position. Switzerland are currently lying second and third shot, so Tom is conscious if he doesn't put this in the right place, he could lose a 3.
Same as it's been. Same as it's been.
Yeah,
Look at it.
It's good. 2.
2 is good.
No line. How's line? Good.
Line's good.
Needs to
Line's
cut on it.
good.
Line only.
Needs to cut on it.
We're
Line's
good.
good.
We're
Line's
good.
good.
2.
Clean only.
2.
Right
Clean
off.
only.
Clean.
Stay with it, Ross.
2.
Whoa. Whoa.
Off.
Whoa.
Ah, boy. Good. Nice shot.
No, perfect line. You see it directly in line with that stone at the top of the house. That's the one that they were trying to guard.
Nice though. Good.
It's going to take it.
Once again, Scotland red stones in there in the 4-foot shot stone. Switzerland lying second and third at the moment with the yellows.
And you know, it's a good position because Switzerland are tempted. They can see a fraction of that yellow, and that's all they need to catch of it to tap the red back. So it's a tempting one. Do you just draw the button for one, or do you go for that shot?
Vous aimez quoi, vous?
Moi j'aime bien ça, mais.
C'est possible, hein?
Je trouve que ça à voir venir normal. Ça c'est.
Good end from Scotland to force Switzerland here. Still needs to be made though. Doesn't have a huge amount of real estate to work with. Here it is, the final stone of the 7th end, Benoit Schwartz.
Kéline, c'est bien.
Be looking for somewhere around about 14.6, 14. And it's Switzerland 5, Scotland 3.
14 c'était. Maybe.
Welcome back. You're watching live coverage of the 2016 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships, live from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire, Scotland. This is men's session 5 of the week. And our featured game is Scotland against Switzerland. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie. Rona, Scotland starting to run out of time here.
8th end of the game, and yeah, they've got last stone, so they've got to go for it here. They've had great setups in several ends in this game, so just need to carry on doing that again and then finish it off to score big.
And Rona, you had an observation about the split time of that final draw from Benoit Schwartz there in the 7th end.
Yeah, we thought 14.5 would be pretty good for T-line weight, but that came up at 13.8 hog to hog. So in the last few games that would certainly have been back 8 foot, or too heavy anyway for where he was looking for, but it dug in deep. So I think with the big swing in the ice there coming off the barrier, you just need an ounce more running on your draws to deal with that swing, because the swing does take some weight off the draws.
You want to tap this one?
Well, the two leads managing play quite nicely and around that 90% mark.
See, there are. Doesn't really matter hugely. I just think this opens up the opportunity. It's just T-weight.
The crowd looking a bit nervous. They've not had a huge amount to shout about in this game. But still 3 ends remaining.
Back 4.
Absolutely, and you know, if Scotland take the 2 here, force 1 and 9 and take their 2 and 10, they win the game. So absolutely, it's still all to play for. They don't need to go crazy here, just take a 2.
So we've seen Scotland using this tactic a couple of times. Just trying to bump the top one, and maybe a little bit shy for weight on that one.
And Switzerland will stick with the tactics that have worked well for them in this game by peeling off any corner guards that Scotland put up.
Yeah, don't forget, Switzerland still undefeated so far in this round robin. The finalists from 2015. Oh, Peter de Cruz having a super game at 91%. The second. Ross Patterson, stats are starting to increase. He's definitely settled in a little bit in the second half of the game.
We're pretty good. 2.
Who's plenty?
Yep. Yep, come on hard.
It's an interesting concept,
Gotta go.
Logan, with Peter de Cruz, who started juniors as skip, then he moved down to be skip and play third stones, and now this season he's skipping and playing second stones, and he's obviously playing very well at second. So do you think he's found his niche?
Yeah, his calling. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got 4 players and you've got 8 stones, and whatever order is going to get those 8 stones in the right place and get those wins that you need to justify all the time and effort you put into it, then that's the lineup you go for, and they feel that this one works. So here's Peter de Cruz just peeling the corner guard once again. Well, meanwhile, over on the other side of the Braehead Arena, sheet A, there's Torgeir Nergard holding the brush, and this is the last stone of the 7th end. Thomas Ulsrud, Norway leading by 4 shots to 1. Oh, makes a hit and stick, and that's curtains there. A huge score of 5 in the 7th end. And the final score there Norway 9, Austria 1. So Norway will pick up their 4th win of the week and looking good for the playoffs. Austria suffering their 3rd defeat of the week, but still very much in the mix for the playoffs. Newly promoted from the B group last year.
Just go out, turn.
Oui. Ouais. Yep. Okay. Bien. J'ai Codio.
Well, I think we might see Scotland make a move here, run-up.
Yeah, I think we need to. They'll need to really move those ones off the forefoot at the moment, because Switzerland are sitting well, and they could call Scotland's bluff and suddenly put up a guard on them, and then Scotland don't have a shot.
Think going round's a simple shot then? I'm happy with either, actually. You decide.
That's what you want from your teammates. I'm happy with anything, you decide. I'll just play whatever you want me to play.
Yeah, I wish it was always that straightforward.
Scotland are still, they've still got that other counter in the house, so the two's still feasible at this end. They've set it up quite well so far. Switzerland will be really pushing at this end just to keep Scotland to 1.
See that? You make a move on this.
I think the only problem when you do maybe use your own stone here, Logan, that you maybe leave a double on your reds.
Back 8 then.
Back 8, wait. Speed's the same.
Well, absolutely, when you're moving so many stones around, then you do leave things a little bit down to luck. Glenn Muirhead having a fantastic game, playing 95%, 100% on draws. Claudio Pat's also 100% on draws. So good play by both of the thirds. So tricky shot here. This shot could really make or break this 8th end for Scotland.
Should pull. Needs to. Go now. Good shot. Good.
Thoughts, Rona?
Yeah, not a bad result. It hasn't left an easy double in the reds, so that's the main thing, that Scotland are going to keep that second counter in the house. And it's also opened up the two that were sitting on the forefoot. So a pretty good result. I think it was the best they could probably have hoped for there.
Well, nothing fancy here for the Swiss. Just going to try and peel this red stone that's lying in 4th shot position.
Okay.
Well, just clips that top red and pushes up a little bit, but doesn't affect things too much in the centre play. Over on sheet B, Sweden and Italy. That's Amos Massaner in the house. And looks like a draw for 2 here for Joël Retornaz. The beard to be feared.
Lagging coach.
That's what I thought.
Solo Lochita.
Aye, or even roll. No, no, you have to hold it.
So it just needs to be fully in the 8 foot.
Here. Double. That's the thing.
And it certainly looks like that's going to tie things up there on sheet B. So 3 apiece there against the defending champions Sweden. 3 ends to come.
The only problem is they pick that and then we've got to move that. If we're here, we've got to move that. Okay. And that's not easy on this stuff. Do you want to call a timer? True. Yeah.
Well, timeout called here.
It is quite a key point in the game though, Logan, at this stage in the 8th end.
That's what I called. Yeah.
Well, let's try and listen to what the players have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, if you can get there, that's a great shot.
Yeah. The only downside is if we sit here, then it's just a no set.
Yeah, well, there's an element of risk with any shot we play.
Yeah, well, we can decide if it's not going to curl enough, we just hammer it and we roll further. Yeah. Or you can play the nose, like. But
here's Mike Harris.
Yeah.
First ball was inside of the
Canadian
Here.
Olympic silver medalist in 1998.
He's got, you can run it in there. So I mean, the tap and say on the top one, so he doesn't.
That's what I think. Just a wee same line as we've just thrown, I guess, as well. So
even if he knows it, he's still going to come off and onto the back. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Same weight.
yeah.
Yeah. That makes it too easy for him.
I think the best shot for us would be to tap that frozen.
Yeah.
Roll.
I agree. I just back 8 weight. That was my gut feel. Yeah. Well, Tom, if we think that we're not making that, then we can just go hard on it and roll her to the wing. You know what I mean? See, it's a hair less weight than my last, though. Yep.
Oh, Rona, like us, Mike Harris is a great armchair curler. Does a bit of commentating himself. What wisdom did he impart on Team Brewster there?
I think he just confirmed in Tom's head that Tom was calling the right shot. Because they really looked here at freezing the back yellow. That was their kind of first call. But now they want to move things up a bit here at the front. Because this patch of ice has caught them out a couple of times with either swinging too far or just hanging straight. So they're saying they've got an option here.
All the way!
That was not too dissimilar a shot from the one they just threw, so should have a pretty good idea of what it's doing. It would be absolutely ideal if they could get the two red stones frozen against the two yellows. Looks pretty close.
It's a peach.
Ah, great shot.
Over to that hair.
I think it's just rolled a fraction too far.
For annoyed at that, though, can he be? It's tough to. Just a fraction, an inch, eh?
Just an inch. It's all in this game, just an inch here or there.
Well, I think they were, to be honest, the wrong side of the inch there. And one of the last things that Mike Harris said to the team was that hitting on the nose is okay. And the key to that was that it wouldn't have left a double where the stones come to rest. By hitting it too high, then they set up this chance to remove both reds. So they can hit the red onto the yellow, onto the other red, and both reds will fly out the house.
Yeah, I think what was key there for Scotland was that they didn't leave a double in the reds. For them to have any opportunity of scoring two, they really had to have that separation in the reds, which they tried to do. But as you say, they just hit it on the high side.
So this one coming down with a bit of a vapor trail on it. Benoit Schwartz trying to spring both the reds out. Beautifully done. Punches the red out the side door, and Switzerland lying 3. And it looks very much like opportunity lost here for Scotland.
Great shot from Swiss skip. But Scotland kind of set it up for him. Opportunity lost, but the house is open and Scotland have to score at this end.
Well, those stats really tell a story. Benoit Schwartz 20% up on Tom Brewster in this game.
And that's really what the game's been about, Logan. The rest of the team are all much the same on stats. It's really the skips that the difference is showing.
Is that, what's that ice for? Is that ice for that or that? It's for the threes. So we're sweeping for this?
Tate, there's no point in hitting rolling in front of all one. He gives it, makes it easy for him, doesn't it? Just a wee, even those taps.
If we tap it 2 inches, 3 inches, it's not a disaster there. No. If we're on the nose.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
So they're going to take a little risk here in leaving the stone in the 4-foot in favour of making a play on the stones at the back and
freeze, couple inch tap.
Trying to get one in a position where they might be able to score 2. They don't really want to be forced just to take 1 here.
Yeah, by playing this, Scotland need to hope that Switzerland don't call their bluff and put up a guard on the one that's shot.
Well, it may well be an option for them, depending on how good Tom Brewster makes this. I'm just trying to hide the shooter underneath the stone at the front of the forefoot. Great shot there by Tom Brewster. Well, that may well force Switzerland to throw a guard. This is always the risk.
J'ai mis un 4 là.
Ouais, j'aime bien la garde.
Exactement
they're
devant.
looking at.
Si c'est très proche,
Just
ça va
front
aussi.
ring.
Ouais, 4.
Pourquoi être 4? Parce que de toute façon, il tape.
Because if they put it there, it's going to be very difficult for Tom to remove the yellow shot.
C'est juste que je veux être proche, tu vois.
Ouais, c'est sûr, faut être proche, c'est vrai.
Pour pas qu'il puisse faire juste ça pour deux.
Parce que même si on est là, le maximum c'est là, ça c'est bien. Parce que là, en plein, il est pas shot.
Ça, c'est le max, ouais, c'est le max.
C'est pas que là, t'étais le double.
Je pense que le perfect spot, c'est là.
Bah, le perfect spot, c'est pile devant.
Exact. Ouais. Que ce soit n'importe où. Okay.
Là? La glace?
In ou out, on peut faire les deux.
Enfin, comme
Avec
tu
le
veux,
in, je mettrais ça.
C'est égal. Oh, on a joué au début là.
Ouais. Faut être vraiment exactement là.
4.
Ouais, si on peut 4, c'est parfait.
4.
Hein?
3-4.
Oui. Ah ouais.
60 c'est trop. 4.
65, trop. Ouais. 65, 70.
Ouais.
So something just in the front ring, directly in line with that shot stone.
Ok, ça cale là-dessus, ça cale trop. Rien, ça cale vraiment trop. Non.
C'est 2,5.
Non, jamais touché, non. Non, que touche même pas.
Well, I would say it's a bit longer than what they were looking for.
Ok, man.
They just couldn't really sweep that because it was curling so hard off that barrier side. So a well worked chance here for Tom Brewster. It's a bit more complicated than they would have liked, and still certainly not a gimme this last stone.
No. What line was it? Well,
He's disgusted, isn't he?
He's not happy.
That's about the most emotion you'll ever see from Benoit Schwartz.
He's been cool as a cucumber all game, but you can tell he's annoyed with that one. It's just a bit light with that swing. You can't afford to be light.
Same as Glenn, eh?
So Tom can see half the stone from the hack.
Back 12 with his first one. Just a nice, like a dead 12. That's the way you're looking for. You got it. Weight's good. Yep. Weight's good. Yep.
Well, watch for the big curl off the barrier. That's what's been catching them out all game.
Yes! 12!
Well, I think it's pretty good.
Sit.
Great shot here by Tom Brewster. And the well worked two in the end. He really took a big risk there with Tom Brewster's first one, but hasn't it paid off? Scotland staying alive here, putting two on the board to tie things up. And after 8 ends, it's Scotland 5, Switzerland 5. And this is how it happened. Just pushed the yellow through, hung the shooter around. And there you go, simple.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Weight's good. Good line. Slightly heavy. Take it free then. Good line. No, we're good. Good line. Line
Over
only.
curl now, maybe.
Just clean.
Depends where he is.
Probably
It's 2.
It's two.
No, right off then, he's over curling.
Set.
Oh, super couple of shots there by Tom Brewster in the 8th end, putting 2 points on the board for Scotland. And there's not been too much between the games, between the teams all game. And that's what's reflected on the scoreboard now. Well, it's anyone's game now, really, isn't it, Rona?
It is. Peel's after 8. It's a 2-end game now. So what's key for Scotland here is they need to try and force Switzerland to take 1. And then they can go into the 10th end with the hammer.
Go, 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 go. Encore un petit peu. Go, 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 go. Good. Très bien. C'est bien ça.
Sheet D. Finland and Russia. Finland trailing by 6 shots to 2 and still looking for their first win of the week. Finland, of course, made the playoffs last year, but missed out on the medals. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case this year. Aku Kauste. Well, something to shout about here, though, at least. Puts a score of 2 on the board in the 8th end and narrows the gap to 2 there. Russia 6, Finland 4.
We can throw 3. We can throw the next one short if we want to.
Scotland going aggressive, and there's the Brewster family along to support husband Tom. Kim and the kids. Kim herself, a very proficient curler herself, having represented Scotland on multiple occasions. So what do the first 4 shots of this end say to you, Rona, about the mentality of the two teams?
Scotland definitely want to put the cover up, and Hammy had set up 2 good centre guards there, but an interesting call from Switzerland there to tick with the second lead stone. So Switzerland absolutely are going to blank this end. They want to blank to go into the 10th with the hammer. And Scotland are very much wanting to force Switzerland to take 1. So it started off the way we had assumed it would.
Barrier.
Ready, Glenn?
Push. Yeah. Yes. Gotta go.
Oh, it's really got to go.
Really hard. It's really got to go.
Well, I wonder if that picked over curls. Just does enough to get the stone out.
Nothing wrong with that throw.
Come on. It might have picked.
Yeah,
I think that might have picked, eh?
I wondered earlier in the game if Ross's one of Ross's stones was a bit curlier than the rest, and seems to have missed a lot on the inside. So a chance here for Switzerland to really tidy things up. Oh, feels like Peter de Cruz has been throwing peels all day. Lovely shot here. Makes both of those red guards go away, and that's going to make it a long, hard end for Scotland to be able to force Switzerland. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, just saw Joël Retornaz drawing for 2 in the 7th end, and here's Nicolas Ledeen with one of his own here in the 8th. Just needs to hit the paint for 2. Sweden only suffering 1 loss this week so far, and that was to Scotland last evening. And it looks like they might continue their winning ways here. Now leading by 2 with just 2 ends to come. It's Sweden 5, Italy 3.
So after that great double peel from Peter de Cruz. It opened everything up. Scotland just have to keep plugging away, putting out guards and hope that Switzerland make an error here.
Oh, non, 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 c'est large, c'est large, c'est large. Ok, ok, ok.
I think this is going to be the pattern for the rest of the end, really. Scotland will just keep tossing that guard up, and Switzerland will keep peeling it off, because they don't want any score here in the 9th end.
Speed's good, Glenn. Mine went a hair further than I thought there for the...
Yeah, Switzerland happy to blank this and have control with last stone in the 10th, whereas Scotland really want to force them to take one here.
Halfway. Just clean. It's good. It's good.
Well, we said earlier it's probably a more important game for Scotland than it is for Switzerland. Switzerland already on 4 wins and no losses. Scotland on 2-2 after a real shock loss this morning against Austria. First time Austria have ever beaten Scotland at the European Championships.
Non, 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 non. Wow. Ok, ouais, oui, ça garde fort. Fort, 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 fort. Fort, Valentin. Mais non, faut vraiment y aller. Encore, tant qu'elle bouge, tant qu'elle bouge. Tant qu'elle bouge, tant qu'elle bouge, tant qu'elle bouge.
Well, a half chance here for Scotland. A couple of guards in play.
Yeah, a couple of corner guards there that they could use anyway. Because ideally Tom's thinking if he can get round it perfectly, then Switzerland will peel that guard, then he draws the other side, so he's always lying that second shot, so it would force Switzerland to take one at this end, which would be an ideal scenario for Scotland.
Good. Top tee. By yourself.
Just Ross. How's line? Line's good. Just Ross. I think there's plenty there,
Only
guys.
if you have to.
12 foot.
That's all it needs to be. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let it break. Let it break. Left, left.
Weight's good.
Yep.
Let's see the stone, the speed start and come out to it. Curling in behind the guard. Perfect draw here by Glenn Muirhead.
Shot, Glenn.
Well managed by Brewster and Co.
Yeah, what's key with that shot, Logan, is that it is completely buried, so that Switzerland do go for the guard and not the shot in the house.
Well, maybe just a slight piece seen from the hack. Tough shot though here. Throwing down a line that probably haven't thrown before in the game. So a bit of guesswork required here from Switzerland.
Wow, 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 non, 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 Benoît, Ben, fort, fort, fort. Vraiment fort, Benoît, vraiment fort, 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 fort. Go, go, go. Dommage, Cognon.
Well, does enough to get it out. Good shot in itself, but Scotland are going to have the same opportunity, the same draw that they've just thrown.
Je crois vraiment que dès qu'on arrive assez dans les bords, c'est comme ça.
Just skip stones to come here in the 9th end.
Same as Tom. Give me a shout when you want me to try and get in at the end if you want. Finish. The weight's the speed. The weight and the speed's the same. We can drag it a bit.
So great communication there with the sweepers and Tom before he plays his draw. Just discussing the weight and line.
It's good. Just wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Same as yours, Glenn.
Glenn, same as yours.
Whoa. Hair less just now.
No,
no
just
good.
Ross. Ross on late. Get ready, Ross.
Let it
Go
grab.
for weight. T-line.
So he wants to completely bury this behind the corner guard.
Well, they look at past the guard by quite a lot more than the previous one.
Good.
I don't think they've quite hidden that one as well as the last one. And a little bit further away from the guard.
Good. Just never taking a cuddle like.
Ça, on pousse là?
Ouais, un bon matin.
Ouais, ok. Pour le codio, hack, j'ai mis ça.
C'est bien.
Je pense que c'est bien. On est passé assez loin de la garde. Un petit peu moins vite que toi. Je l'ai poussé là.
Ouais, je vois la moitié, ouais. On vient battre la hack. C'est bien. Battre la hack, ouais. Moi, je trouve que lui, il a assez vite quand même.
Ouais, il était vite, mais il faut jouer quand même. Ah, la ligne. C'est pas très vite, hein?
Well, they will know a lot more about this line than they did the previous time. I'm just seeing Claudio Patch throwing a stone down here.
Claudio, fort, 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 Claudio. Fini, go, 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 go. Faut y aller, faut y aller. Wow, wow, wow.
Super shot here.
Excellent.
So just next door on sheet D. Looks like Finland lying on 1. And the final stone of the end still to come here for Alexei Timofev. And looks like a chance to score 3 and really stave the Finnish challenge off. So just trying to tap that red stone at the back of the rings through. Is it past the top one? It is not. But have they been a little bit lucky? I think they may have just found a way to score 2 somehow. That's unbelievable fortune there for the Russians. Splits the top stone and looks like a score of 2 to open up a 4-shot lead coming home. How different that could have been. If he misses that shot and gives up a steal, it's a 1-shot game, but instead with that piece of luck, now leading by 4 coming home. So back in our featured game, Tom Brewster just noses the shot stone. And looks like the 9th end is going to be blanked here. Some careless stone positioning earlier in the end, really costing Scotland. Well, final stone in the 9th end. Benoit Schwartz.
Nettoie bien. Nettoie, 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 nettoie. Même là.
Well done by Benoit Schwartz. The 9th end here is blanked. Switzerland will keep the last stone advantage. And this guy will have a shot to win the game, you would think, in about 15 minutes' time. Scotland 5, Switzerland 5. You're watching live coverage of the 2016 Le Gruyère European Curling Championships live from the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire, Scotland. Men's session 5, Scotland versus Switzerland, and it's all tied up coming home. My name is Logan Gray, and alongside me 2002 Olympic gold medalist Rona Howie, and can you believe it, Hammy McMillan drops it short of the hog line. And that will be removed from play. So Switzerland are just going to throw theirs away. They don't want to put any stones in play to help Scotland at this stage. That was a bit of a shame, really, because Hammy's had a good game, hasn't he, Rona?
He has. He's really played steadily all game. So that was very uncharacteristic-like for Hammy. Big challenge now for Scotland because the 2 lead stones are absolutely crucial when you're trying to steal the end.
Well, not dead and buried yet, the Scots, though. The free guard zone still in effect here, so they will be able to get at least a couple of stones in play.
Good, Hammy. It's good there, Hammy.
So this tick shot, Logan, could determine how the end's going to pan out. if the Swiss can move this off the centre line now. And the way this guy's been playing all game.
He's really a super exponent of the tick shot, Valentin Tanner, but this one looks a little bit high, wide and handsome.
Oh. So Scotland can breathe again. Second chance for a second guard. Tom's thinking of coming in.
Ross, I think we'll come in turn. Okay.
I think the thinking here is that the draw is easier than the guard to keep good separation between the two red stones. So
yeah.
Using this swingy hand off the barrier. So Russia defeat Finland by 8 shots to 4, just next door to this Scotland-Switzerland game.
Whoa. We're pretty close, Tom. Probably want to go. It's all yours. Line's good. Anything over Carl now. I want to go. Come on. Front ring, top 8. Come on, hard. We're not there. We're not there.
Well, despite all the exertion from Muirhead and McMillan, Glenn's still able to communicate. Super sweep to get it down there. Right in behind the guard in a perfect spot, really. Now over on sheet B, 9th end, Sweden leading by 2. And Italy lying in shot position. Just needs to find the 8-foot here. Joel Retornaz. Well, the sweepers are backing away from this one. And Oscar Eriksson's going to have a nibble at this one. Can you believe it? It slipped right through the 8-foot. And it's going to be out-counted by that yellow at the front of the house. And a huge mistake there by Italy. Only a score of 1, and Sweden will lead by 1 coming home in that game here in session 5. Back in our featured game, Scotland and Switzerland. Only 2 stones in play. Scotland really losing a life in this end by hogging their first stone of the end. Another appeal here for Peter de Cruz. He'll be dreaming about peels tonight. He's throwing that many.
And throwing them all very accurately.
I don't think he was overly enamoured with his delivery from a technical perspective, but it doesn't matter how you get the job done. No pictures on the scorecard and all that.
Needs to be on the centre. Whoa, here it comes. Here it comes, yep. Me. Whoa. Wait's good, 3.
What's important for Scotland here that they keep distance between their 2 stones. So as Switzerland can't lift a double.
C'est bien.
Pierre. Non, ça. Je vais de l'autre côté.
Ouais. Ouais. Oui. Oh. Rassure, rassure, rassure.
Excuse, je veux juste pas que ça curle comme laine devant, tu sais, ou ça tout d'un coup.
So what's the thinking here for Scotland, Ron? I mean, obviously they're just throwing these guards out there and they keep getting chipped off, so why not change the strategy?
They're just trying to keep the cover out there and hope for an error from Switzerland. Either that Switzerland will miss the peel or nose the guard to give them more cover. So they'll just keep going, putting guards out, and Switzerland will just keep going, trying to clear it. You know, it's the last end of the game. There's very clear direction now. Scotland want cover and Switzerland don't.
Another perfect guard there from your head.
The only thing at some point as the end's going on, Tom's going to have to be thinking about his last stone, and the shot that's in the house probably isn't good enough to win the end at the moment. It's not as close to the button as they would like, so he's probably thinking with his last stone what he's going to do. So that's... He'll still guard with his first, but then his last stone's crucial, because would you just guard again? Because there's a lot of space to draw to outcount that red counter.
Well, 96% on his 6 draws today. I wouldn't have thought we'll see him throwing any more takeouts in this game anyway.
Wait only, line's fine.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5's what we need. Whoa, guys, it looks a wee bit hot.
It's good. 2.5, maybe close to 3.
Whoa, line's good.
3.
Hammy only.
No.
Line's
Hammy
real
only.
nice. Line's real nice.
Hammy! Can't touch.
Hammy clean. Whoa! Whoa, guys, for length. Right off. Right off.
Great communication there.
Hit at the end there. Stay tall. Good.
Well, another perfect guard, but maybe a little bit tighter to the house this time, and
Run on a bit more than I thought.
Switzerland weighing up the possibility of making this run back. Any risks there, Rona?
Okay. Hair high. Just là. Balle to roule.
There is risk, because if they go to lift the double and just miss it, they could leave another guard, which would benefit Scotland. But Switzerland know right now where that shot is in the house, that they could outdraw that.
Okay.
The Swiss wouldn't be too worried about having to outdraw that one. So I think from his point of view, he's quite happy just to peel here and not do anything too clever.
Well, he's a sensational 92% on 13 hits today, Benoit.
Whoa. No. Attention. Whoa.
It's one of the more difficult ones he's faced.
Okay.
It's just not quite curled enough, so just makes the single peel. And now there will be a discussion for Team Scotland as to where they put this last stone. Of course, they want to try and make Switzerland miss. They desperately need Benoit Schwartz to miss with his last stone to steal this victory in session 5.
So that means we go that side. Otherwise he's not back. Even if we are here, even if nosing, might do.
Tap it.
That's tough to get the line right. I know.
We
could almost bury in here.
Tap too hard for the angle. It's easier to draw.
I think it makes it too easy for him.
Okay.
I mean, even if we stop here, he's got to come on the out turn. Or he's playing a normal at the crotch. Yeah. Well, what I mean is just stagger it enough. Here. Half round.
You don't do far, just
I mean, it's a nose hit, but...
Still get my nose hit. I like almost where you are, just...
You could go almost side by side. But I like just biting. Just see that, or you tap it straight.
I know.
It's a tougher shot, though. Eh? Oh, it's tough on this. But you want to go. It's probably an out-turn shot. Cover the pin and just not easy bury it by a.
We know the ace for the in-turn tap.
Couple inch. Even if you go there.
We know the ace for the in-turn tap.
Even that.
Let's play button if that's it.
Yeah.
If it's easier to get there, let's play that. Yeah.
That's what I was playing, eh? Cards. You like that?
Yeah.
Well, everyone on full alert now. Just 2 stones to come here. So what was the decision in the end there, Rona?
Yeah, they talked about drawing half round that stone that's there, so it would be tempting for Switzerland to try to get to it, or to go for the straight tap. Now, the straight tap would be a great result, but it's a very difficult shot on the swing to get that absolutely perfect. So if Tom can come round here, bury half of it, but he doesn't want to be back tee, he doesn't want to give Switzerland something to sit on. So it was good to hear the discussion that all team were involved.
Well, we did just see the stats on his draws. He's drawn impeccably today, Tom Brewster. And looks like another good one here.
Boy, great shot.
Well, they've given themselves a chance.
Yep, that's exactly where he wanted to put it. So Switzerland now, do they go for the double takeout or do they follow that? But I think Switzerland would certainly be happier going for the hit here.
Yeah, there's not really too much space in there to work with at all. Just a few inches from the pin, really.
And I suppose that was a big debate for Scotland because they don't want to leave the Reds too close together, but they didn't want to take that too far behind the tee either. So it's the carrot dangling.
Well, here we go. We missed the last run back. Here's Benoit Schwartz. Well, a little bit high at the moment. Oh, and he's just missed it. And Scotland get the only steal of the game in the 10th end. And you can see the disappointment on Peter de Cruz's face. Scotland with a much needed victory here in session 5. The whole nation taking this one down by a 6-shots-to-5 decision. A lovely reaction as well from the home crowd. Tom Brewster knows he got away with one there. Super couple of last shots on Tom Brewster, stealing it for Scotland. So Switzerland suffer their first defeat of the week, going to 4 wins and 1 loss. Scotland sneaking up on them now on 3 wins and 2 losses. Just one game remaining out there, and it's Italy against Sweden. And we've just joined them in time for a timeout. Sweden one up with the hammer coming home.
Have to be shot, or I mean, shot or second. Deve essere meglio della gialla, quella nostra, però non dentro che il può bocciare Nar. Sì, sì.
So Corey Rush, the Italian coach, leaves the field of play, and Italy in a slightly similar position to Scotland in their 10th end. They need a steal, but that would just get into an extra end.
4-1, no?
And all really Italy can do here is lie 2 and hope for a miss from Niklas Edin of Sweden. Already lying 1 with that redstone out on the wing. And Edin and Eriksson will be watching this one closely from Joel Retornaz. So not having a great game today, Joel. 69% on 8 draws and 70% on hits.
Easy. Secondo me è buona, occhio. Secondi, deve essere secondi. Mordere il bianco.
Well, needs to lie 2. And he manages to do that, so Niklas Edin will just have to draw the 8-foot, but no, one of the unsettling things about this one, Rona, is that he could lose the game here. Sweden with any sort of a miss.
Yep, pressure's on the skip now. Last stone of the game. It's all very well, just draw the 8-foot. But when you've got 2 lying against you, and as you say, it's a game-winning position for Italy. But Nicholas has been in this position so many times in his career.
Oh, he's 90% on 5 draws as well. Pretty formidable from the Swedish skip. But that was a really well-positioned stone there by the Italians. I think Niklas Edin would have been much happier to throw an open takeout with his last stone. So we saw Joel Retornaz miss a similar draw in the last end for 2. Will Niklas Edin make this one? Looks
Looking
like
pretty good.
So this will be the final stone here in session 5, the last game out there. And it's beautiful. Right down onto the 1 foot. Exactly as you would expect from a great champion like Niklas Edin. And the red hot favourite Sweden roll on to 4 wins and 1 loss. Final score, Sweden 6, Italy 4. So Italy go to 3 wins and 2 losses. Scotland versus Switzerland here in session 5, and here in the 6th end. This was Tom Brewster with a very straightforward takeout really to score 2, and the sweepers fought it all the way down to try and keep it for our line, and they hit and rolled out to only take a single, and Switzerland have a 1-shot lead. Then Switzerland scored 1 in the 7th. Here in the 8th, final stone, Tom Brewster once again makes a beautiful little tap back here to score 2. Really lovely finesse shot there by the Scottish skipper. And on to 10th end as well. 2 super stones by Tom Brewster to set up this tricky final stone here for Benoit Schwartz. Just set it slightly out the hand, and it didn't come back. Scotland steal it from underneath the Swiss noses. Final score: Scotland 6, Switzerland 5. And this is how the rest of the games finished up. Norway 9, Austria 1, Sweden 6, Italy 4, Germany 8, Denmark 2, and Russia 8, Finland 4. This is what it all means, really, after 5 sessions. Norway, Switzerland and Sweden all tied on 4 wins and 1 loss. And then a whole host of teams bunched up behind them as well on 3 and 2. Italy, Russia and Scotland. Austria still not out of contention as well on 2 wins and 3 losses. And Denmark and Germany desperately needing wins now, as well as Finland.
Tom, a great win. Tell us how you managed to get over the line with that one.
Good question. Maybe ask you that. Just hard fought, really hard fought. We knew last night against Sweden we kind of hung in mid part of the game, and we kind of just said, look, be patient like last night, be patient, keep hanging on, and yeah, we got a good 2 and 8, I think. We had a chance to force in 9. It was tough going around the corners, wasn't it? We were struggling with that today. We struggled with ice a little bit today. For whatever reason, I don't think we were throwing it as clean. We were a wee bit nervy maybe, but not like last night. But a win's a win, it's great.
So Tom, how does it feel to be playing in front of a home crowd?
Oh, it's great, it's great. Feels strange having quite a lot of family here, because normally they don't travel for me anyway, you know. I just quite like to go away, do my thing and come home, but it's fantastic, and it's a lovely arena. It's really nice to play in, and the noise kind of goes around the arena really nice. It's, you know, it doesn't need to be full to be a nice atmosphere, and it's really nice. It's great.
So what do you think the possibilities are for you and Team Scotland this weekend?
We're just a game at a time team, so we'll just be looking forward to tomorrow's game and try and get some more wins on the board. You know, we were disappointed this morning. We didn't play well at all, and you know, we came out fighting tonight. I don't think we were at our best tonight, but you know, we show plenty of fight and passion, and we're Scottish after all. So.
Well done, Tom, and best of luck.
There you go, the thoughts of the winning skip, Tom Brewster of Scotland, the host nation, getting a much needed win this evening against the undefeated Switzerland by a scoreline of 6-5. From myself, Logan Gray, and Rona Howie, thanks for watching, and join us for more coverage in Braehead Arena.